But I've since moved, Opie. As you know, I have moved to a nice community on Long Island.
No, you moved.
The wealth that Infinity Broadcasting has given me has afforded me the chance to now move out of Brooklyn, where I was for 5 years of a nightmare. And I finally decided I was going to move into a nicer neighborhood.
No, it's time to get into this a little bit. You, Anthony, who there was a time you were homeless.
I wasn't homeless.
You lived out of your car for a little while.
Oh, that's not as much homeless as it is living in your car.
All right, you were living in a car for a while.
I was between homes, but I definitely didn't want to make a career of it.
And then when you and I met, you were living in like Huntington Station with your car up on blocks.
Well,
and then, but that was an improvement. You had a nice little apartment.
Oh.
And then we moved up to Boston to do some radio. I will fucking kill you if you start that today. I will fucking kill you. Looks like someone needs attention. Let me and Anthony talk for a little while. We'll get to you in a minute there, Jimmy. Jesus. So then, so then we move up to Boston to do some radio, and then you were pretty much living in the projects.
Yes.
In the apartment complex where people like fenced off their little
patios.
Well, I was going to say their space, but it wasn't their space. It was everybody's space.
It was.
And they made little chicken coops and stuff.
Yeah,
for
chicken
good
coops.
Eating.
And then the little Brazil. I guess they were from Brazil and Ecuador. All the people that lived in this apartment in Ashland, Massachusetts, where I lived. And whenever it would rain, the potholes, which there were a lot of in the parking lot out in front of the building, would fill up with water, and the little children would play in the puddles.
It was their pools.
And I'd look out my window through my sliding glass door on the 3rd floor and look down and go, I do radio. Why am I living here? I had this illusion that if you did radio, you must live nicely, but no, not up there. I was living in the slums.
So then we got fired, then you moved home.
Yeah.
We both moved back to Huntington for a while.
Lived in Huntington for a while.
And you lived in the Huntington house part-time.
Yeah. For a little while.
And then I'm just, giving the Anthony timeline here.
Yeah.
And then you moved to Brooklyn. And you were just discussing the whole Brooklyn apartment and all that.
Brooklyn, I had to leave my vehicle out on the street where it got tickets every day for alternate side parking because I'm too stupid and lazy to move my vehicle.
Right.
And it would get keyed, and on Halloween, forget about it. You just get eggs on it, and it was awful. So, yes, I finally decided I was going to move. I'm moving on up.
So you moved on up to a very Jewish neighborhood. Yeah. That's what I want to get out today. Anthony.
I am Catholic.
The Italian stallion.
Born and raised Catholic. Yes, the Italian stallion, they call me. That's what they call me in the neighborhood, Opie.
The Italian
stallion. Yeah.
And they saw you coming a mile away because you like to spend your money.
Well,
Jesus.
In a way, I have, after being paid for 2 years for doing nothing by Infinity, I figured I would splurge a bit.
You drove up in your new ride. They weren't sure if a rapper was moving into the neighborhood or the Italian stallion.
They were a little fearful at first when I pulled up because you can't see who's driving through the tint. And I believe they thought some rapper was moving in to tear up their neighborhood.
Backed up your ride and unloaded all your computer equipment and your flat screen TVs.
Oh, the big screen TV came in the door and I was set.
And now you're living in, when I say it's 99.5% Jewish, am I lying?
Yeah. My neighbors are a surgeon. I have a surgeon on one side, a Wall Street broker on the other, and the other one's a lawyer.
It's just funny.
It's pretty much just Jewville. I moved to a place, look at the map of Long Island, and find Jewville.
You are in Jewville.
I am in Jewville. That's where I live.
So you must have been very excited. It was your first year that you could have trick-or-treaters come to the door, right?
Well, Opie, my girlfriend was a little upset the past few years because no trick-or-treaters would come to the door. And I am so paranoid, I just barricade the doorway. I don't want people coming to the Brooklyn apartment. So this is pretty much the first year she was very excited that little trick-or-treaters would be coming to the door. Bought a whole bunch of candy, put it in the big, giant bowl by the door. and waited for the little trick-or-treaters to come.
This is not the Anthony I know. This is not the Anthony that I met 10 years ago.
That's okay. I was playing online poker during the whole thing, so I was still living life like I usually live it.
I have a feeling your girlfriend went to the door with a big bowl of candy, and you were kind of right behind her, all happy.
No, I
glowing.
For the first couple,
you had your little Jewish sweater on.
No, I didn't.
I think when you're not doing this like edgy shock jock radio show, you actually wear like horned rim glasses.
No,
Come to the door with your pipe and a paper under your arm and a sweater on.
The sweater with the patches on the sleeves.
I have a feeling you completely change your attire when you leave this joint.
I have the yarmulke on my head.
Right.
I'm wearing it on my noggin.
The little pipe as your girlfriend's all proud, giving the little kids their candy.
I rub the mezuzah on the side of the door before I go in.
What?
There's the Jewish, when I moved in, obviously a Jewish person lived there.
Please tell me you had no idea what this was until you moved into the Jewish
No, I
neighborhood.
knew from Brooklyn, because there's a lot of Jews in Brooklyn,
Yeah,
too,
but the Brooklyn Jews are the ones with the curly fries,
I know,
sideburns.
but they still have the mezuzah on the door.
And the big top hats.
A mezuzah is the thing in your doorway that the Jews, touch or something before they go in their door. It's got some, religious significance. I have no clue what it is. There's a little scroll inside. There's a little scroll with some Hebrew words on it inside, and they put it in their door. And when you walk in your door, you give it a little rub. But I moved in and got out the old claw hammer and pulled those things right off the doorway because I'm Catholic.
Right.
I can't have such a thing in my house, my Catholic house. I'm in enough trouble with the church. I'm going to have mezuzahs on my door?
I think that's why you moved to the Jewish neighborhood. The Catholic religion doesn't like you and I these days. And you're
know.
like, I think I need to find some new people.
I had to pull off the little thing that the Jews put up there, considering they are the people that murdered my Savior. Why would I then have something... Yes, I moved into a Jewish neighborhood, and we were looking forward to the little trick-or-treaters coming to the door. My girlfriend, very psyched. She had little devil horns on to greet the children with and everything. And
knowing you, I bet you were the cool house.
We had some good candy,
Full-size candy bars?
A few of those, but some of the snack ones, just a lot. But making up in quantity for the size of it. The kids were able to take whatever they wanted. The first kid that came was asking, could I take 3? And I was like, sure. Take all you want, lil kid. Look, ding dong. Oh, let's run to the door. My girlfriend running. I'm kind of standing back, because
you're right behind her, all proud.
I didn't know whether to call the bed or fold my hand on my video poker. So I'm looking over, and I see. Oh, you're a little princess, aren't you? Yes. And then before the little kid even took the candy, the father goes, what do you say? And she goes, thank you. It's like, no, trick or treat. She was saying thank you, Opie, before she even took any candy. So then she, asked for 3 and fine, and then a few more come. Oh, ding dong. Run to the door. Jesus. It's like, look, we got a little ball player. We got a little baseball player from the championship Red Sox. Look at that, a little Red Sox, and
that's when you gave out the arsenic, right?
You're right. Yeah,
you got to laced candy.
Beat him with a Yankee bat.
That old gag. Who the hell is poisoning kids on freaking Halloween?
Nobody. One. It's a gag.
Nobody.
So then after the first 2 trick-or-treaters, we started noticing a trend, Opie.
Here.
We started noticing a little trend.
I have to say, I thought we could start our show with a nice little story.
It was adorable.
Ripped right out of your life.
Oh, ding dong.
But here we go. This is where it goes horribly wrong.
We got a clown and a soldier and the Tin Man. You take all you want, kids. Oh, may I take 2, please? Here you go. Here's some Twizzlers. And here's a Butterfinger for you. And take a Rice Krispie treat,
just like a Jew. You had all your candy all organized.
All organized. The kids could take whatever they want.
You look like you need some Twizzlers.
Yes. You could use some Twizzlers. And then I noticed when it started getting dark, ding dong. Oh, let's go to the door. You got some candy? I'm like, what? Where? Let me check my zip code. What? What has happened? Opie. And that was the rest of the night.
Well, the Schwoogies come out at night.
I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is it seemed to me that they are driving and busing in inner city children to the nice neighborhoods to get good candy.
You Jewish people have come up with the word Schwoogie for the black people.
I'm Catholic, Opie. I just live in the Jewish neighborhood.
From this day on, you are Jewish.
Opie. I'm Catholic, living in a Jewish neighborhood. I'm a Jew looking for... I'm a Jew looking for sanctuary.
Looking to return to Israel.
Opie.
So the Schwoogies were trick-or-treating in your neighborhood?
It seems to me that the inner city children are either bussed in or driven by family members into the white neighborhoods to get good candy.
Isn't that stupid?
Because I don't believe that black neighborhoods have candy to give out. I just don't see that happening. Maybe they're a little more concerned with keeping the electricity on in the inner city impoverished neighborhoods, or, paying the rent that month. And candy is not a priority. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I have not seen an inner city child, a child of some other ethnic background than Jewish, in my neighborhood since I moved there. All of a sudden, when the sun went down on Halloween night, all I saw were inner city children, and loads of them. And let me tell you something. It wasn't, may I have 3, please? This one kid comes up, said he had 11 friends. I'm not kidding. I got 11 friends. Grabbed hold of the big round tray that we had the candy on, and swiped his forearm across half of it, and put it in his bag.
He was just...
My girlfriend goes, hey!
He was just practicing for the time, he breaks into the jewelry store.
The jewelry store. He's practicing the forearm swipe. The forearm swipe. So my girlfriend's like, hey now. And I'm like, honey, let him take all he wants. There's plenty more candy where that came from, son. You take whatever you want. So I was fearful of the black child, just like my Jewish neighbors. I was really fitting in. As a matter of fact, I looked across at my Jewish neighbor across the street, and while that was happening, he was like looking at me, shaking his head, going and doing that slicing with his finger across it, like, no, let him take what he wants. Oy vey, don't fight it. We go through this every year. Oy. And put your mezuzah back on your door, you fucking Catholic. Unbelievable.
That's classic.
I couldn't, but where were they coming from?
Well, when I
could not believe it.
When I was a kid growing up on Long Island, one of 7 kids, my parents, we were pretty smart too. We would go to the nicer neighborhoods, thinking that that's where the good candy was.
You didn't have a lot when you grew up, right,
No,
Opie?
nothing.
You tell me
Absolutely
stories
nothing.
of the big treat when you went to the beaches, buttered bread with margarine bread with sugar on it.
Our snacks when we went to my grandma's house in Wading River was margarine and butter sandwiches.
Margarine and sugar, wasn't it?
I mean, sorry, it's still early. Margarine and sugar sandwiches.
Right.
Yes.
Now, so you didn't have much.
You know what's funny? I brought up this story recently at my Uncle Tom's wedding.
Nice name.
Uncle Tom got married. And one of my aunts goes, I was listening to your radio show. It wasn't margarine and sugar sandwiches.
Oh,
it was butter and sugar sandwiches. Oh, hey.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you guys.
Now and living high on the hog. Butter and sugar. So you didn't have much, and now you're telling me that you were indeed driven.
Oh, without
to
a
the
doubt.
nicer neighborhoods.
Yeah, we would jump into our van and be dropped off in the nice neighborhoods because we knew the nice candy was there. The big candy, definitely.
The big full-size candy bars, the nice selection, the quantity. That's what I got. I have 11 friends. 11 friends. Sure you do. And it's just, you just see the contrast between the kids from the neighborhood, who, by the way, were off the streets when that sun went down. Ooh, that was it. I think they knew. It was like Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
They knew. Get off the street. And then it was just, city children that were brought into the neighborhood.
This Halloween thing's getting messed up because, it's just like everything else in the world. It's, the whole PC thing has come into Halloween as well.